This is my week 8 check-in of The Artist Way. I'm going to be so real. I am fighting the flu and all I want to do is cry because I always get emotional when I'm ill. And I have to go to work in like 20 minutes and I don't want to go. But I need to do this before I go. So this is going to be quick because I don't have the mental capacity. But ironically, this week was called Recovering a Sense of Strength, and I feel weak as fuck right now, so regardless of me being ill, I actually have had a good week. It's just been the last 3 days that I've just felt rubbish, so this week was really good. The teachings are really good, and I'm trying to focus on this rather than how I'm feeling. Anyway, Julia says, this week tackles another major creative block, time. You will explore the ways in which you have used your perception of time to preclude taking creative risks. You will identify immediate and practical changes you can make in your current life. You will excavate the early conditioning that may have encouraged you to settle for far less than you desire creatively. Purely for time purposes, I'm not going to read through everything like I normally do, but there was so much in all of these chapters that were amazing. So the first one was talking about survival. We also spoke about losses and gains. We spoke about jealousy again, and also about age and how a lot of creatives say that they are too old to start a new endeavor, and that's just never the case. Julia says that I'm too old is something we tell ourselves to save ourselves from the emotional cost of the ego deflation involved in being a beginner. I have experienced that exact thing with starting pole classes. I started them 3 weeks ago and it's been super hard, and I did not think it would be that hard because I've just grown up being a dancer, and I don't know, I think of myself as quite a strong person. I've always worked out, but being a beginner, it's so humbling, and it's such a strange thing because it's quite frustrating when you don't get something the first time, and I'm also just like a perfectionist, and if I don't get it then it's a little bit frustrating in the moment, and it's true, like my ego feels a little bit bruised because I don't want to be a beginner, but I'm really trying to enjoy the process. And I asked my teacher how long it took her to get to where she is now, which is just amazing. Like when she does the things she does on the pole, I'm like, I need to carry on so I can do that, because it's, oh my gosh, I just admire it so much. It's such a beautiful art form. So yeah, that's been really interesting. The other topics that Julia spoke about was, sorry, I'm all over the place here. I actually wrote, I'll tell you what, I wrote a summary because I knew my brain was not going to be working. So it says, week 8, focus on resilience, self-trust, and overcoming creative setbacks. It emphasizes the artistic losses and failures, and that they aren't setbacks or reasons to stop. They actually encourage persistence despite any of our self-doubt and external criticism. Week 8 highlights the danger of comparison and jealousy, and it reframes them as a tool for self-discovery, pointing towards unfulfilled creative desires. So we spoke about jealousy last week as well, and I think if I ever feel that horrible feeling of jealousy towards an artist, or if I see that they achieve something, then it just means that I really want it and I need to figure out how to get there, because obviously they're on their own path, I'm on mine. So yeah, I think reframing the mindset is super, super important. Week 8 reminded us that money is a resource, not a limitation. And I said that this week was about reclaiming personal power, taking creative risks, and strengthening the belief that your artistic journey is unfolding as it should. The tasks this week were really cool. I did them at the beginning of the week, so I can't remember exactly what they were. Let me see. The first task was quite a long one. It says that we had to name our dream, write it down, and it said, in a perfect world, I would secretly love to be and I think I wrote a Grammy Award winning artist. And then we had to kind of go through each steps and write like paragraphs about it as if we were that person. So we wrote that where would we want to be in 5 years in relation to our dream? In the world we inhabit now, what action could you take this year or in the next few months to move you closer? And then I don't even know what I wrote. I did this at the beginning of the week. But I think it's really good to write it out, and I wrote it out as if I was like a first person. Is that what? No, what am I trying to say? As if I was living it right now, like as if I was the Grammy Award winning me in the future. To be honest, I don't even have time to read through it, but yeah, that was a really cool task. I did really enjoy that. We also wrote about it. Julia asked us to pick a color and describe ourselves as that color, which was really interesting. I chose, what did I choose? Oh, green. Green's my favorite color. And it was kind of like, what feeling does it embody? Do we see that color in our home? And my home is very much filled, not this room, but my lounge is very much filled with plants and earthy tones. And I feel like I've only realized that recently because I'm a Capricorn, and I think I'm such an earth sign. Like, I love being in nature, and I love trees and plants, and yeah, I just feel like it's a mirror of myself. So that was a really cool task. One of them was list 5 things you're not allowed to do. So Julia's example were kill your boss, scream in a church, go outside naked, make a scene, quit your job. And then it said do that thing on paper, write it, draw it, paint it. I think I just did like breaking into a car. So random. But you know, sometimes you have those just strange thoughts pop into your head. Like sometimes, like free will, I'm like, oh, I could just like, not free will, that's the wrong thing to say. Sometimes I'm in a shop and I just be like, I could just like, oh no, I tell you what, sometimes in a restaurant and I'd be like, I could just like walk out and not pay, which I obviously would never do, but like I could. But I think maybe that's one I wrote as well. Another task was plan a perfect day in your life as it is now, and then plan a perfect day in your life as you wish it were constituted. Funnily enough, I actually wrote this yesterday, and as I wrote out my ideal life, I wrote that I wake up and I do my morning pages, I stretch, and I either go to a hot yoga class or Pilates, move my body, get in the sunlight, come home, then I'll get ready for a studio session, spend the day there, da 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 da. Funnily enough, I actually did that on Thursday, and I didn't really realise, as I was writing it out, I was like, wait, my ideal life, I experienced that on Thursday because I had the day off work, and I went out and I took a hot yoga class, which was my artist day of the week. I came home, I bought some Palo Santo, I really just set my intentions for the day, and then I had a studio session, and that is my ideal day, and eventually I will live that life, and that won't just be a day off work for me, that will be my life. And it was really cool to have that realization. So yeah, all in all, this week has been good despite how I feel today. I'm also really grateful that I hate having a sore throat. Like, that is my worst thing, and the flu is very much like kind of just in the nose. So I have just been thanking God, even though I feel so rubbish, that, you know, I don't have that. It could be worse, but I've just been working the last couple of days, and I think when I get sick, like I said, I just get emotional, and I've just been like wanting to just be like held and I really don't want to go to work, but I need to go, and everyone's getting sick, and it's not like, I literally just don't have a choice. But it's been a good week despite that. I did have like 4 days off the restaurant, which was really needed. I'm learning that working there like 5 days a week with my other job and having no days off, it was just taking a toll like on everything. I was starting to hate it, and I don't want to start hating it because it's been good, but I think I'm aligning with my future self, and it's not as a waitress. Like, one of the chefs yesterday was being so rude to me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but you can't speak to people like that, whether it's me or the next person. Like, and I was just like, I don't like being in this environment. Like, I don't like being around people who think it's okay to speak to people like that. And I told my manager, and he was like, oh, you know, like, chef. And I was like, no, like, it's not chef. Like, you don't speak to people like that. Maybe I'm just too sensitive, I don't know. But I just don't like being in that space sometimes. But I need to go. So, anyway, I'm not trying to complain. I'm very lucky to be able to make money and work and whatever. But eventually, you know, the dream life will come. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I think this has been super random, but this was my week 8 check-in. It has been a good week. Week 9. Oh my God, I only have 3 weeks left. Whoa, wait, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm lying, 4 weeks left. Week 9, let's just read it real quick. I'm praying to feel better tomorrow, so let's see what we're starting the week with. Recovering a sense of compassion. Okay, this week finds us facing the internal blocks to creativity. It may be tempting to abandon ship at this point. Don't worry, Julia, I'm on board. We will explore and acknowledge the emotional difficulties that beset us in the past as we make creative efforts. We will undertake healing the shame of past failures. We will gain in compassion as we reparent the frightened artist. I can't speak, guys. Let me start again. We will gain in compassion as we reparent the frightened artist child who yearns for creative accomplishment. We will learn tools to dismantle emotional blocks and support renewed risk. Sounds like I need this. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. Sorry if I've been kind of not good vibes, but this is just how I'm feeling right now, and I didn't want to miss my check-in. But I am sending good energy and good vibes to everybody, and I hope that the next check-in I'll be feeling better.